Today I'm gonna talk about aggression. Get aggressive with what you want. You got to have some form of aggression when it comes to the things that you want in life. It's about getting out of apathy, getting out of passivity, and going into action. And not just action, powerful action. So let's get right into it right now. When I was thinking back of the areas where I found success in my life, what I found was that it was due to, first of all, desire, wanting something, but also a great amount of aggression. And this is not really popular to talk about. We like to talk about manifestation and being nice and being happy and being in a good state. And that's very much a feminine approach. What is good and still powerful. I'm just trying to show you today another side that you can combine to that great feminine energy with this powerful aggressive force. When you really want something, you need it, you got to have it. Is there anything standing in your way? That doesn't mean everything will work out fine. It doesn't mean everything will work according to your plans, according to everything that you want. If you have a certain amount of aggression when it comes to what you want in life, towards your goals, towards your the things that you want to achieve, if you have that certain amount of aggression to it, what starts to happen is that all these obstacles that were in the way before, you either try to solve them aggressively or you try to find a way somehow to make it work. And what this means is that when you're in passivity, you're trying to judge the world. You're trying to say it's because of them, it's because of them, it's because of them. Passivity makes you judge other people. It makes you judgmental because you're blaming everyone else except yourself. You're saying, it's not my fault, it's the fault of others. Therefore, you're not taking responsibility and ownership over your life. You're basically giving your power away to others. And even though it's true that there are powers outside of you, you live in society, you cannot do anything. You live in society, you got to follow the rules a little bit, right? Sometimes you can break them here and there, but overall you got to follow the rules a bit. And sure, that's a limitation, but is that holding you back from what you want? Probably not, because probably what you want in your life, other people already have. Other people already have achieved. And maybe it's something that has not been achieved by anyone. And that's probably something very ambitious that is, or very unique. But even if that's the case, what you got to do is not just taking action, because taking action is good, it's fine, it is great. Not just being some kind of manifesting feminine energy type of thing, because then you're just not taking any action. You're just saying, I'm going to manifest it, I'm not going to do anything. And that's not good either. It's almost like manifestation in action. It's sure have that feminine energy, but also have that masculine energy of aggression, of going and taking action that is powerful. What happens is when you take action that is powerful, you go beyond your own limits. When you take action that's aggressive, you go beyond your own limits. We all have limits. The first thing that we have limits to is how much weight you can lift, right? So you can lift 15 kilos, 20 kilos, you can lift 30 kilos, 40 kilos, however much you can lift. That's your tax. But if you want to become stronger, it takes this amount of aggression, of pushing through. It doesn't take manifestation, it doesn't take just passivity or blaming others for like they're putting this in your diet so you cannot get any muscles. No. If you want to get muscles, and this is something very easy to achieve compared to other things, right? But let's say you want to be strong. What you got to do is really aggressively push yourself towards your next limit. Now, of course, don't push yourself too far that you get an injury or something like that. But you need a certain amount of aggression to push yourself, to Not just take action, because some people, they say, I take action, I go to the gym, I work out, and then they just walk on a treadmill for an hour and they say to themselves that they have worked out. But if you really, really want muscles, okay, if you really want to be strong, you're not gonna blame others, you're not gonna blame anything else, you're just gonna blame yourself. And not in the sense that you feel guilty or shameful, more in the sense of, I'm in control, I can make this happen, I can do this, but I have to push through. I have this limit in my mind, and also this limit in the world of how far I can go, right? I can only live this much, I can only go this far, I can only get this strong. But if you really, really want it, if you really, really want it, you're gonna spend all day long, researching what food to eat, researching how to do the push-ups good, or how to do the pull-ups, how to properly work out, how to get stronger. You're gonna be focused on eating a lot and getting loads of protein and creatine or whatever, and you're gonna be focused on working out a lot. And it's just an example, right? You don't have to think this about working out, but I'm just giving an example right here. And what you start to do is you want it, you aggressively take action to make it happen. And you make it work. You make it work. Not because of some strategy, not because of some manifestation thing, not because of anything else than your own willpower and aggressive force. That is what gets you to the next level. Now, to maintain the level that you have achieved, you don't need to do so much. Like, for example, if I want to remain the muscles that I've gained, it's not that difficult. I don't have to push so much, because it's just remaining what I have. It's not pushing myself to the next limit. But if I wanted to be much stronger than I am, let's say I wanted to be 2 times stronger than I'm now, that means I need to push myself again. I need to use that aggression again. I need to be way more aggressive when it comes to my workouts, right? So this is what shows you what aggression does. Aggression gets you out of your inactivity, but also it doesn't make you take action that is wasteful. Wasteful action comes from your inability to truly I want to say the right words. My mind went just blank. Anyways, wasteful action, right? So you have wasteful action, and that comes from just trying to take action but not really wanting it, not really desiring it, and not really taking aggressive action. You're not taking the action that is necessary for you to win. You're not putting everything on the line to make you win. You see, when you put your attention towards achieving a goal and put everything you got into that, you're gonna achieve that goal. The thing is that people are 20% in, 50% in, but they're not the 100% committed and not taking aggressive action towards making that happen, because they think they can just chill, relax, not do anything, and just your goals will come to you. But that does not make any sense from a physical standpoint, because from a physical standpoint, there's always, when you want to push yourself to another limit, you need to push yourself. You can maintain what you have done. That's not that hard. Okay, you don't need to push yourself to do that. You can maintain your strength once you have found that strength. You can maintain even your business or whatever. But can you maintain something that you don't have? You can't. You first got to push yourself aggressively to go to the next level, and from there you can get more comfortable and maintain that. But every time you want to grow, every time you want to go to the next step, it's about that force of aggression. It's about taking that aggressive action. And I get a little bit frustrated by people saying stuff like, just chill, just relax, just don't force it, go with the flow. But the thing is, going with the flow is really good if you're in a really good place already in your life. But if you're not in the place that you want to be at, meaning you want to grow in your happiness, or you want to grow in your relationships, or you want to grow somewhere else, you have to overcome these limits that you have in your mind. And it's only gonna be once you take aggressive action that you're gonna get to another point. And from there on, it might get a little bit more comfortable. You can relax a little bit more, and you can integrate that new found growth within you. But even then, you probably want to grow even more, right? So there's no limit to how much you want to grow. So what I see with many people is that they have, for example, achieved a certain goal. They have achieved something in their life, but they just keep stagnant at that level because they use that aggression to create and make them good at something. They use that level of aggression to make that happen, and that level of commitment and focus and following that desire of making something happen. But then they didn't use that in other areas of their life. Maybe because they felt it was inappropriate to use that same aggressive energy that you use for working out towards, becoming better at your relationships, or within your business, or whatever, or with socializing. But the thing is that you have to always feel like, I'm not where I want to be at. And it's not that you cannot be not happy. You can be happy where you are. But you also need to have this feeling of, I want to achieve more. I want to go further. Even within happiness, even within relationships, even within business, within any area, you want to maximize your growth. And being in a chill state all the time is not going to maximize your growth. In fact, it's going to slow your growth down a lot, because you're basically maintaining what you have, you're integrating where you are at, but you're not expanding yourself to the next level. You're not growing yourself and going beyond your limits. You want to go beyond your limits. You almost want to have this desire of going beyond your limits, of this idea of achieving more. It's almost like you want to have this desire to break your own limitations in your own mind, not just for the outcome, but just for the sake of, like, I'm not going to live my life with these limitations of, I cannot do this, but I can do that. I cannot do this, but I can do that. It's like, I can do it. I can achieve it. I can make it happen. And I'm not going to blame anyone else or any circumstances why it didn't happen. I know it's my fault that it didn't happen because I didn't take the aggressive action that was necessary to make it happen. I tried to take action in a comfortable way, making it nice and comfortable and maintaining what I have. But I didn't push myself to the next limit. I didn't push myself to the limit to achieve that goal. So it's a little bit chaotic video, but what it comes down to is what I have found within my life, with all the experiences that I have had with success in different areas, is that it always came down to aggression. Not necessarily strategy, not necessarily the best strategy, the best thing to do, the best, line or the best or whatever. It was true aggression, because true aggression and taking aggressive action, you are able to push yourself through the limit, make your mind change. Because once you see the evidence of what you can do, your mind starts to change. If you see yourself doing something you have never done, your mind starts to change, and you start to also see, if I can push myself in this area, I can push myself in every single area. If I can grow and become successful within one area, I can become successful in every other area, because it's just the same principle of success. And this is not really popular video, probably because nobody really wants to hear that they need to be aggressive. They want to hear that they need to chill and relax, but that's only gonna help you maintain what you have. If you want to grow to the next level, you got to push those limits. You got to push through those limits. Surely some people have been able to do that by just changing their mindset, because if you change your limits in your mind, also the limits in the world start to change, right? I rather like the opposite approach, where you actually take action, you see evidence of those limits not being real, and then your mind starts to change itself. You don't need to repeat lines, or you don't need to do affirmations. You just know yourself what you're capable of, because you have seen it in your life. And then it just becomes about maintenance of what you have achieved. So it is pushing with aggression, maintenance, pushing with aggression, maintenance, and integration. That's kind of the growth steps. I hope this makes sense. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.